Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 18th lunchtime chat, one of our series that we normally have. Um, and today we'll be focusing on waste education, behavior change, and local climate resilience. We are going to allow colleagues about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to join as people are still joining. And we will start shortly then after we've, you know, allowed most people to join. Um, you're welcome to type in the chat box um, your name and where you come from, so that we just get an idea of who's here. All right. I think let us start, and colleagues will join us as we go along. I think we've got a good number, so we can start with our discussions. My name is Dora Kiki. I'll be your facilitator for today's session. As mentioned earlier on, today is our 18th lunchtime chat that we often have every quarter. And today we'll be focusing on waste education, behavior change, and local climate resilience. So here Sean is sharing the program of the day. We are going to start with a welcome and introduction by Rabelani, and it will be followed by opening reflections by Bala and David. And then we're going to have three case studies. So we're going to have City of Tswane, Lepalalale, and King Sabate, that will be sharing some of their good practices, how they deal with waste, and how they go about raising awareness on waste management. Um, So as I've kindly asked for colleagues, you're welcome to type in the chat box your name and the municipality that you're coming from. I see most colleagues are doing that, and if you haven't, please do so. I'm going to hand over to Rabelani to do the welcome and introduction. Over to you, Rabelani.
Hi, good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, and I'm quite appreciative that you were able to join us today in this important discussion. We all are aware that the waste issues have gained a lot of prominence because the focus now is more on municipalities as we gear towards the next elections. Waste has been a thorny issue, which is really an issue that is at the face of municipalities, because with waste, you are not able to say you are delivering because it's just right in front of everyone. So it's a very critical issue. Hence, we managed to set up this lunchtime chat. This is part of the series of the lunchtime chats that we've been having in partnership with the South African Cities Network. We brought the National Business Initiative into this because there is a lot of interest as well from businesses on how collectively we can be able to manage the issues of waste. So this is part of the Cities Lunchtime Chats, chat number 18, which talks on the issues of waste education, behavioral change, and also local climate resilience. So these are the issues that are quite critical, and we believe that by having more and more of this education related chats with yourselves, learning from what municipalities are doing and also what other players are doing, would be quite critical for us as we move towards addressing the waste management issues. So I joined slightly late. I want to believe that Dora Kiki has asked you already to introduce yourself on the chat. I think this would assist in terms of saving a bit of time. But I think when speakers come in, they may also just introduce themselves, either when you're asking questions or you are presenting. So I've already highlighted what the purpose of this lunchtime chat is. I've already also welcomed you to this engagement, to this discussion, quite critical discussion on how we can best link waste behavior change to resilience, cleaner cities, and community well-being. So as Salga, we have been working very hard on, to engage all stakeholders to manage waste, because waste is an issue that you cannot, separate from environmental and climate resilience. So once you solve another, you automatically solve the rest of the issues. So as Salga, we do have a waste specialist, Barangare Nongobera, who's going to be speaking later, who is really championing the waste issues that you may already be familiar with. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over then to the facilitator, and I want to really say you are most welcome. Please feel free to participate as much as possible. If you've got any questions that you need to pose or any insights, any reflections, any experience or learning that you have, we will appreciate it, as this is an awareness session. Thank you so much, and over to you, facilitator.
Thank you, Rablani, for the welcome and introduction. Um, Thanks. As you, colleagues, as you've heard, should you have any questions as the discussions are going on, you're welcome to type in the chat box. But we're going to have a discussion session after all the three municipalities have presented, and we will be taking live questions if you do have. Um, and we encourage you to participate. It's a engaging session, so we'd love to hear your voices. I'm going to hand over to Bala and then David to, take us through some of the opening reflections, why we're here, why is waste important, and how can you connect it to climate resilience. Over to you, Bala.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, and thank you so much to the colleagues who managed to join the session. We really appreciate, as it has been conveyed by yourself, Chair, as well as the Mr. Chikarange. Without taking much time of the colleagues, but just to indicate that this topic of today of this lunch chat, it is very critical. Colleagues who are on the call would know that whenever you go to a town or a city, the moment you see or the first thing that greets you is whether the area is clean or not. the moment you see waste, then it begins then to bring then the questions to say, are these administrators of this town or of this particular municipality, are they able to do their part? And obviously this is it's like a maintenance thing. It's like when you take care of yourself as a human being, every day you have to bath or you take a shower. Similarly with waste, the moment you stop, there's going to be problems. So, and obviously there are many issues that are informing the status quo. There is a need to talk to people and everyone to do their part. And that's the part that we still have a lot of work to do. And we thought this particular session should be able to assist us in trying then to go deeper into that. Obviously, that has been already covered by Raberan when he was doing the opening and welcome, but sharing that it's very critical. So the behavior of us, let me put it as us, because it's behavior of everyone. um if if waste it's found on the floor or on the ground, it is a big problem. It requires resources to go then and pick it up and put it in the bin or where it's supposed to be. And those are the key issues that we need to address from the side of the government, from the side of business. And I'm very happy that our colleagues NBI are here. Obviously, Cities Network is critical, but behavior change is very critical, which is something that we need to then entrench in our communities. You still find, and myself being on the ground, it become obviously maybe even everyone in the platform might have heard what I'm going to say. You still find a behavior in our communities or amongst our people where they do believe that when they do littering, they are creating jobs or people who will be employed by the municipality to go clean after those who are littering, which is really is something that with through behavioral change, it needs to be given attention. Obviously, they need then to reduce the pressure on landfill sites because some of these waste that we see in open spaces, it should not be there. Others should be recycled or should be diverted from going to landfill site and put value on that. So with this kind of engagement, we believe that we'll be able to thresh that. I wouldn't want to take much of the time, but just to indicate also the alignment or the connection with the climate resilience. It is this is a value chain that if we get everyone to do their part, the value chain state then change the way it is to the positivity. So if there's certain ways that's supposed to be beneficiated, which, like for example, it leads to the generation of methane at landfill sites. So through behavioral change, we should be able then to address those issues. Issues of illegal dumping, it's also very critical because it leads to the storm clogging our storm water. Then when it rains, then those storm water is unable to move swiftly, and then as a result, then we have situations that we've been experiencing recently. And I would want to preach to the converted. These colleagues who are here, they already know. As I conclude, Chair, just to indicate that waste education and behavior change are not just a soft interventions. It's very, very critical. They may sound soft, but once we deal with the issue of behavior, then we'll see much of the change. One colleague who once visited Rwanda, Kigali is one of the cleanest cities in the continent. They said while engaging with communities and municipal officials, they said we don't clean that much. It's just people that don't litter. So some of the pressures that colleagues from municipalities are faced with, the burden that they need to carry, we should be able to reduce that with the behavior. And colleagues in Rwanda, they've indicated that it's not like we are constantly cleaning. And if you can go ask all the colleagues that are in municipalities, you ask the rounds that they do per day and also per night, it's a lot. But if we address this part of the behavior, then we should be able to get somewhere. Colleagues, thank you so much for organizing this. This should be able to assist actually towards addressing this problem that we faced with. Thank you so much. I took a little bit longer, but yeah, as you know, people in waste, they tend to be very passionate about the issue. Thank you so much, Chair. Get back
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you, Bala. Thanks a lot for those opening reflections, and I hope that in future engagements we will be able to get Rhonda to come and share how they managed to change behavior, or if people were taught at school, or I don't know how they're winning it, but maybe in our future engagements we'll get them to come and talk to us. David, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dora, Rabalani, and Balanganani. Yeah, I'm a little bit over, so I'm not going to. I have got a chance to make a presentation, so I don't want to really say too much here. And every time I thought of or wrote down something to say, Balanganani, sorry, actually said it for me. So there's not much left. But I will say that one thing I've had experience of, and possibly sort of it's been for a longer time than let me say, recycling's become as popular as it has become, is sanitation, community-based sanitation. And there the messaging is everything. You can put any type of toilet system in, doesn't matter what it is, as long as there's people's behavior is wrong, they just won't work. It's going to be particularly a system which involves water. If you have a system and that goes wrong and there's no water, it's much worse than the more basic solutions, for example. So there's sort of some close knitting there as well. And I think this is in the end a community health issue, cleaning and keeping clean and everything. And I think, as Balaganani said, the washing and everything, everybody knows they must wash, but these things need to be emphasized. And it could be a combined messaging, an opportunity for combined messaging as we go through this without confusing things. But just, I will be giving a presentation regarding a little bit on the work of NBI, National Business Initiative, but just to say that we do combine all the elements really that that waste depends on and is aligned to. Obviously, it's the environmental angle, the carbon reduction, etc. Youth employment and engaging with. In our case, we get engaged with the community work program particularly, as well as capacity building, so that training or the employment such as that doesn't just become a once-off training. You learn how to do something, and there's no follow-up. So there's also the SMME development side, which is also very critical for what I would call community-based waste management. So I think that's an important thing to say that we've got those. The other thing is we hopefully will bring everybody together in this meeting. I know we have local municipalities, we have community representatives, we have the private sector here. Also very important to the producer responsibility organisations and sorry, producer responsible organisations, which are very critical and can assist with funding, training, capacity building, and that side. So I think that's something we need to also be considering. And yeah, I think fully behind this. I think the approach is correct. We're talking about the green economy. You all know it would be mentioned how important this is to the green economy, as well as the importance. This is, we can't emphasize this more than ever, and I'll explain it in my presentation. The issue of making people aware. It's not awareness. It's making people aware and acting on the awareness. So it's behavior change. You can do as much awareness as you want, but if it's not targeted right and you don't measure it right, it may not be happening. We don't know. So I think with that, I think yeah, and hopefully with an example of something that has worked in a number of cases already, and it's a very good model. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much, David, for the opening reflections and linked to what Bala said. That value chain. So that value chain is actually quite long. So you've got sanitation, but also the green economy. And it's something that we can actually tap into. So it's something that I'm sure as we discuss, we'll see, but very important. It's not just good for us to have the campaigns, the awareness campaigns. We need to make sure that people implement it and change their behavior. So thanks for those words. We're now going to move on to the next session, which is the municipal profiling session, where we're going to look at municipalities, best practices, some lessons that they'll be sharing with us, and knowledge as well. We're going to start, there's a slight change, so we're going to switch over. We're going to start with King Sabata, Dalin Diebo, Mr. Fundisile Guleni, because he's currently in another meeting, but he quickly stepped out to present. So we'll take his presentation, and if there are any questions, then we'll take the questions, and so he can be released. And after that, we'll carry on with City of Tshwane. Over to you, Fundisile.
Thanks very much. I'm not sure if you would be so kind to use the one I shared with you to fly it on the screen. I am unable to do so in the place where I am. Thank you very much. With your permission, I will just speak over it. I'm not going to get into details because of the time constraints, but I'm not going to rob you. But let me greet you, Chair, and all the dignitaries in attendance, my colleagues. I've requested that Snovuyo Mandashe from my office be accepted so that he can assist in doing the recording for myself. Chair, let me start by indicating that I will just indicate the areas that I'll touch base on, as well as the art or the approach we use insofar as implementing the adopted bylaw within our institution in order to assist in this frustration. Taking from comments from the previous speakers, this thing of e-waste, which it seems to be a thorny issue in our environments, is frustrating. I will talk briefly on the awareness programs deliberately, so the implementation of a bylaw will be the last one I will talk to. Awareness program as the establishment of a neighborhood watch. I will also touch base on encouraging recycling and a waste to energy program that we need to opt to in order to reduce e-waste disposed to e-waste disposal centers. The other point will be introduction of e-waste management app. I will also reflect on a support by our partners, key partners such as EDFFE and DDET through the APWP program mainly, and then the beautification, then the greener steward competition. Those are the areas, and then the implementation of a bylaw. Well, Chair, we are doing a number of programs here. We are conducting an awareness program that we conduct on quarterly basis. And when we're doing these programs, Chair, we make it a point, we don't do those programs in silos. We also do them involving most of key stakeholders, which we regard as our partners. Those that your PROs, your departments such as the FFE, DDET, they are part of the game. Your OR Tambo, your Walter Sisulu University schools around, because we're making noise. We make it a point our volume is heard. And there is also another key stakeholder, which is Department of Transport, mainly the airport. We salute the management of the airport because apparently they have a passion. Ngale program Sienzayo, they have a passion. They have fallen in love with the program we are conducting, in the sense that in a number of instances last year we held a number of awareness campaigns at airport, got to be introduced in the systems they apply. They apply insofar as trying to reduce things like air pollutions and other stuff. So thanks to the Department of the Airport, because when we doing those programs, we involve a number of schools, and they like programs that are held or hosted at the airport vicinity. We are doing competitions. When we're doing these awareness programs, it's not only visiting the wards, but we're doing competitions. We have held a number of them in KST, where the students do presentations that will cover a series of topics, your climate change, because this thing of the waste, which is troublesome, has an impact, negative impact insofar as the climate change. So we have schools competition. We make it a point is the schools are playing the key role. And whilst we're doing that, when we have an awareness program, we don't just live with those theories we have presented, but we establish the neighborhood watch committees, which we call waste management ambassadors. So those are the people that are alarming us when people are dumping and causing litter. So we get calls from them, and we have an established unit that is permanently dealing with illegal dumping. That unit is established from our public safety. We're going to get into that. Then the other point, we're encouraging recycling programs. We've partnered with our Polico and the other key stakeholders in that space to make it a point we encourage the recycling programs. And we are on the walk towards considering e-waste, turning waste into energy. Once we finish our newly established landfill site, which is bigger in size as well as a facility with the infrastructure that appears to be intact. We're gonna try and introduce the waste to energy programs so that we do programs that are going to be beneficial to us as well. Then the other point, we are introducing a waste management app with the assistance of ISALGA. It's already, we have done the other processes towards the establishment. It's just awaiting implementation now. So we are at that stage where we are about to roll out so that everybody participates. Everybody raises alarm as a board, everybody plays a meaningful role to make it a point. They assist the institution to do swift responses in areas where we are called upon to pay attention to. And then this support from TFFE and the DDET. We are busy, having noticed the filthy environments as well as the high level of pollution caused by the dirt and illegal dumpings, your land pollution, your air pollution, your water pollution. DFFE has supported us with a number of personnel in the form of EPWP to deal with illegal dumpings mainly. So the other program is related to coastal waste. Coastal management in the cleaning program. We have allocated these people at Hole in the Wall coastal area as well as Coffee Bay. The others, the half of the number, because we have been allocated 60 of them from DFFE, then the 30 of them are busy with 30 of them are busy. Sorry, am I still audible, Chair?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thanks. They are busy with Umtata River. We felt there is connection between Umtata River as a stream and the coast, which DFFE targeted. They are allowed us to do that. So we are busy with Umtata River. You would notice, having been stricken by floods, June floods last year, our river was in a bad state. So they have done a very progressive move in terms of clearing the river stream. We're trying to minimize pollution water pollution mainly that contaminates the stream. So we're having those programs that are being rolled out. And the other point, which is very key, when we're dealing and clearing illegal dumps, we not just clear and leave them there. We just turn them into beautified spaces. People who are visiting Umtata might notice the change in terms of cleanliness, but not only cleanliness, but in terms of making the point they are beautified sites. So we use tires, painted tires. We are gathering stones now because we feel that tires, there is a risk of when there are protests, people just take these tires and burn them. Now, with stones, we're going to be safer. So we are also considering stones, but we are dealing with the beautification of these sites. What we have noticed is that people are beginning to respond positively, because if you noticed, on the route coming from airport direction, R61 into Amtata, it was bad, very bad. But you would notice that there is change. Even the hawkers that are trading along the street in the Mtata West, you would find that they are able to clean and sweep their areas, even if it's in a bad state insofar as road infrastructure. But the fact that they are able to sweep with that area is a progress to us, to say they are conscious that it is not healthy to trade and sell consumables in a place where there is a waste or a debt. Then the other point is implementation of a greener steward competition. We have initiated that, and we are so proud in the council here. The council adopted a resolution that was setting aside 3 million. Then a first prize will be a prize that is not in cash, but we provide the project that will be requested by the community or that particular ward. The first prize will be the value of 2 million. The second prize is the value of 700,000. The third prize will be the value of 300,000. Last year, towards the end, we were delivering to three wards that have won the prizes. The one that had won the third prize was Ward 3, and the one that has won the second prize was Ward 4. And then the one that has won the first prize, 2 million, was Ward 8, and it was publicized. It's a good initiative that motivates the wards to take ownership of this thorny issue of waste management. So we see it as a program that is yielding positive results. So we are encouraging our municipalities to make it a point. They utilize that for the sake of encouraging these people to take control of their own areas. So when we term it as a greener steward, but it's not only focusing on greening, but on cleaning as well. For instance, part of the prices include buying of grass cutting machines, and they have purchased bakkies, tractors, and all those stuff that would assist the ward. But those assets are within our control. It's just that the ward will do the application to make use of those when they are conducting a program or a project. Now, the last point, Chair, is the implementation of a bylaw. We are so friendly to our communities. We don't mean to be vicious. But when I joined this municipality, I was hired as a head of protection services within public safety. Whilst I was still there, I made it a point, I established units that are going to be effective and meaningful in terms of changing the behavior in Amtata environment mainly. KSD is composed of Amtata and Mkanduli, but it's not that much bad in Mkanduli. You would just encounter criminal activities such as heist. But with Umtata, you would find that the driving was at a bad state. So now, having had the very powerful and effective security forces within the municipality, we had to establish an illegal dump unit. If it focuses on that, nothing else. Believe me, Chair, we have generated millions. It's just that I did not quantify before coming to this meeting how much have we generated so far. The peaks I'm going to share here, Chair, with your assistance, are the peaks that are showing that on daily basis, we charge motor vehicles and other tools that are used in creating and doing illegal dumpings, and we get money out of that. And we are not ambitious for getting money, but we doing that in order to do individual and public deterrence. We want to deter people from doing the wrongdoing. So I understand the type of government we are at local government, provincial and national. We are very friendly in the sense that our friendliness does not assist the governance. I can assure you. So once we begin to make the term no to be meaningful, then that's where people will start to behave, because people are so mischievous. You just educate them, try and do all the sorts of appealings to them to say, guys, let's love the environment, let's be passionate, let's understand the ecosystem, let's make it a point we don't frustrate the living organisms, including your vegetation, including your insects and all living organisms. Let's not pollute the water, let's not pollute the air. We also frustrating ourselves as human beings. We inhale poisonous air if we do the pollution. So people do not listen. And the one of the causal factors is the population growth. Population growth to a level that you find yourself unable to control your situations. Deforestation, people are just cutting trees, and yet we are facing climate change that is endangering our environments. So we feel it's high time that we face the reality. It's not like we will not be labeled as a democratic country if we apply law as it is. For instance, we were struck by floods last year, but still there are still people who are settling in low-lying areas, in risky areas, in flood areas, but our government is watching. That is not good. We're not doing our people justice. In fact, we are contributing in loss of lives if we ignore those things. So that's why we said when we have an adopted bylaw by the council, let's make use of it. I'm glad in Cape Town I've noticed one incident where somebody was showing a paper through the window, littering. And then that person thought they are playing games And the law enforcement in Cape Town dealt with that person to a point where he paid 500 rand as a fine. That was great. That was great in changing the picture. So all in all, everybody must play a role. It's not a responsibility of law enforcement and the municipality. We have involved the taxi industries. We are engaging them now and again to say, guys, you are contributing in GDP of the country, GDP of the province, GDP of the district municipality. But your contribution becomes meaningless if you don't care about the environment you are trading in. Don't allow your business as a taxi industry to be undermined by debt, by littering, by all sorts of things. Just play a role. No must be no. As somebody who is transporting a driver who is about to drive and depart, must make it a point he gives warning to the people that are in the taxi to say, guys, somebody must not throw anything. He must just leave the stuff within the taxi. I'm going to clean later. He must just have a minute to educate those people. We are partnering with education to say, make noise, students. Start with your parents at home and you shout somebody who's doing the wrongdoing. And we are also in applying the implementation of bylaw, do the name and shame. We want to expose somebody who's doing something that is, unreasonable. So we are saying we are implementing a bylaw insofar as trying to say, people, don't do the wrongdoing because you're gonna pay heavily. And we are from Strat Plan in February in Strat Plan. Now we are revising the tariff. Now in the next council, and then in the next council term, now that we are going to elections, we want to have a tariff that is going to be revised. No more 3,000 for doing illegal dumpings and 2,000 for being found throwing trash in a place other than a disposal site. So we feel those are the peanuts. We're going to raise it so that it's aligned with the provincial tariff, DDET. If now they are charging 10,000, we're going to charge 10,000 as well. The last case scenario is that we have penalized USPA in one of our areas next to Northcrest. That a guy who was wearing a label Yakwa Spa just drove a wheelbarrow to throw, and it was noticed by one of these neighboring wards, and then they took a picture of him, they sent it to me. So we went there as the team from the department and then confronted the management. They tried to beat about the bush, and then we showed them the picture. And we said, if you don't pay 10,000, because we had to charge them heavily, we're going to expose you, call the media, you're cutting an edge, and all those media, and expose you as irresponsible traders in our space. They paid 10,000. They paid 10,000. So all in all, the peaks that can be displayed, that are reflecting in this report are just examples. But on daily basis, we are receiving monies. Even yesterday, I was showing Udora from Salga. We were in Bloemfontein for Iwes Koro. So I just sent her some pics saying, look, on daily basis, these are the proof that we are dealing with law enforcement against the troublesome people insofar as waste management. That is the presentation. Sorry for not reading the slides as they are, but I felt like just reflecting a helicopter view on these issues, but they are reflected in the report. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Fundisile, for your presentation. Very informative. I'm not even going to wrap up because you've touched a lot of points. We will be sharing the presentations, all the presentations with you colleagues, so you'll be able to make reference to the presentations. Are there any questions before you leave, Fundisile? Any questions? Please, may you raise your hands or type it in the chat box. I see there's a hand from Grace. Grace, you may ask your question.
Thanks, Chairperson, and good afternoon, colleagues. I just hear the presenter talking about waste energy program. that is kickstarting or is an initiative from their municipality. So I just want to ask, or maybe he can just unfold it further to indicate how far is it, and the funding strategy, if ever it was being funded, and the service provider, if ever it was appointed, or maybe it's being an in-house program. Another issue is of illegal dumping. I was just looking at the pictures there, and then I'm glad because they are doing a greenest award, what competition, of which is very much a key, and it's another area where we need to also take it from them. And then coming to the illegal waste, I just need to understand how are they dealing with the disposable nappies, as it is another issue in our areas. And then again, on that note of waste being in the lying in other areas as hotspots, I just need to understand how is they enforcing or maybe aligning the implementation of illegal waste with the policies. How are they doing that? Thanks very much.
Thank you, Grace. Fundisile, two questions. The one on the waste to energy, a little bit more clarity on that, and illegal waste. How are you responding to illegal waste? I know you've given some examples. I think Grace wanted specifically, looking at the issue of nappies and so on. Over to you, Fundisile.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much from the speaker that was asking questions. Look, on the part of waste to energy, we have tried to advertise about 2 times, requesting for expression of interest because we don't have a budget. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the responsive company so far. We are still working on making it a point. We look at the areas they were challenged, they were facing challenges, and see if perhaps we can make it a point. Our specification is not complicated that much. So, but we intending to make it a point. We assist the cause by way of making it a point. We apply other initiatives to try and reduce the frustration at our disposal facilities, such as landfill sites. Second, I'm trying to say we haven't yet moved insofar as appointing. There is no service provider. We're still gonna issue another advert, but after having tried and review our specifications, see if there is something we did wrongly. So we are still working on it because it's a project that can make a change, a lot of change when we're doing, and can benefit us in a number of areas. On the part of Steward competition, it was a matter of appreciation. Thanks for that. And then the disposable nappies, the way we're dealing with that, we are also involving our traditional leaders to make noise against this kind of behavior. For instance, I once met the youth of a Coffee Bay. They used to do a series of protests to a point where they would close roads, close schools, and I addressed them that, guys, this is your own environment. There is a lot of nappies lying, and there were a lot of them. When you are approaching Coffee Bay, you would see frustration. We have a beautiful virgin coastal area, but now flooded with pampas along the area. I educated them. Now I can attest to to this point in time that you can't see any nappy along the road. I mean, what is that route from Amtata via Mkanduli to Coffee Bay? So you can't, you will never find nappies along the road. It's clean and green up to there. So it's involving traditional leadership, the youth structures, and every stakeholder is helping to a point that even though we're still experiencing illegal dumpings of nappies in our rural areas, but because we're making noise, even in the council, we request when the council it does its own announcements. We make it a point, even if it's with through the remarks of Honorable Speaker. We make it a point. She makes noise about this. Now I can see that there is a tremendous change insofar as it dumping of nappies in our open spaces, but we are not yet done yet, because when you're leaving Umkanduli, for instance, facing Coffee Bay, you'll find that degraded land part in Dongas. There you would find that they are using those hidden spots and do it dumpings, and in so doing frustrating or doing water pollution mainly, which is frustrating our livestock. So we are trying through awareness program mainly to say, let the authorities frown against any form of illegal dump of nappies in our space, because it's even hard to get rid of them at landfill sites. We
Thank,
do when we are doing campaigns, or when we're doing our normal regular cleaning programs, we do take them, and we refuse removal. We take them and try and dispose, but it's hard to dispose at landfill sites because it's a
thank you
hard
for this,
material.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
thanks a lot for your presentation and for responding to these two questions. We really appreciate your time. We will share your contact details, your email address with participants if they've got further questions. Colleagues, you're welcome to email. There's a hand from Joshua. Joshua, yes. Is it with regard to your presentation? Hello, Joshua. Okay. I see you unmuted, but I can't hear you. I'm not sure if other colleagues can hear you, Joshua.
Also can hear Chairperson.
Okay, so we'll take the next presentation from Tshwane Mamonare. So she'll be presenting on behalf of the city of Tshwane.
Thanks, Chair. May I be excused then?
Yes, you may. Thank you so much for joining.
Good afternoon, colleagues, and thank you for the opportunity to invite this city to come and share their lessons and other activities that we are conducting in our waste management division. My name is Mamonare Chweo. I'm the Deputy Director in Alternative Waste Treatment and Technology. The presentation, the presentation outlines today, I'll be talking about the introduction and the legislative framework, as well as the waste education behavior change initiatives, the lessons and sharing of knowledge within the city. I'll also outline the lesson learned, the challenges, and the future opportunities. As part of the introduction, I would just like to highlight that the city is big, and especially in Gauteng province, where according to the State SA report of 2022 indicated that the people that really reside in our city it's about 4 million. So you will understand that we are covering plus or minus the registered one that are on the system, 2,635 registered formal settlements that they do have accounts, as well as 575 informal settlement. These are just the legislative requirements. I think in the industry, everyone is aware of that we do follow from this perspective. The Waste Education and Behavior Initiative, we have developed integrated sustainable strategy in the city, waste management strategy in informal settlements. So here I would like to share with you about this strategy and the case study that we are doing. We are, after the approval of the strategy that we developed together with the partners, of which is a community-led initiative. The partners including C40, Asivikelani, Madam Waste, Waste Speakers Associations. The province was also involved in developing, as well as international budget partners of South Africa, in terms of the stipend that we're paying to the volunteers from Asivikelani group. So after the approval of the strategy, we are piloting in 7 informal settlements, where we are conducting training and education and awareness that we did to the participant as a trainer, to train the trainer. The purpose was for them to understand the waste management within their area, so that they can also go and train the community where they reside. This is one of the initiatives that community took a lead in making sure that they profile their area, they advise the city on how best can we improve the waste collection, and also other initiative in diverting waste. If I can just highlight that the purpose of the strategy was that the goal, we had 2 goals, and the first goal was that we wanted to improve and provide a consistent waste collection in informal settlements, as well as implementing waste minimization through recycling, the composting, and other circular economy initiative. So in this picture, I'm highlighting the work that was done. All these areas that you see, they turned this into a sports ground, a park, a garden site for the community. They were illegal dumping hotspot. So through that community, they turned these areas to make sure that they are creating the facility for their communities and the children. One of the other initiatives that they are doing is that with the recyclable materials that they are collecting in this area, the other group from Itireleng in Region 4, they also created the jobs for themselves, where they produced those floor sweepers, as well as the furniture from the waste that they collected from those illegal dumping hotspots. This is one of the other community-led initiative where the city, together with Asivikelani, they introduced the composting and derivation of green waste in Camel's Drift, where we trained the community leaders, volunteers from Asivikelani, and then we provided them with the bins, and also showcase from the buckets that they can collect the garden waste, green waste from those households, and start doing the compost. So this month they also reported that they've expanded to the other side, where they are upscaling the composting in their side. The good thing is that at least they can plow back to those gardens that as composting. When they do the garden, they use the very same composting that they are busy expanding in their area. Number 2, in integrating waste climate education, the city is committed in making sure that all the programs, waste reduction programs, are linked to the climate action plan and the mitigation goals. We do have the climate action plan, and we also committed from the waste management division that we will be promoting waste in the capital city and also promote circular economy as outcome number 9. So that's the commitment we made. We are also providing public education on waste management services, and without forgetting that we also need to educate in informing them that we are addressing the climate challenges, as well as always promoting waste diversion and recycling, promoting green jobs, as well as including and integrating waste pickers in the sector. We also encourage strengthening of local environmental stewardship. If I can just give example that the divisional head will always preach that as a waste management officer, you need to uphold that title wherever you go. When you see the challenge, you must know that you are standing in as a local environmental stewardship. These are some of the other initiatives that we do in promoting waste education and using municipal platforms, online websites, as well as door-to-door campaigns. It is so good these days that the volunteers will engage us and say, please, CT, can I have a promotional material in our community? We do have WhatsApp group, and we are able to tailor made according to the needs, or sending the message to that area where there's a focus. Together with communication department, we always engage with the community. Our counselors are also playing a good role in making sure that they lead the role in making sure we educate people in the city's platforms. 3.3 about scaling and separation at source. Currently, we have these programs of operating the buyback center, separation at source, at resorts and office, recycling at schools, in gated communities. We are partnering with private sector in diversion of waste, shredded garden waste in our garden sites. We are partnering with private recycling company, as well as integration of the waste pickers in all levels. All these programs that we are putting here, that we are implementing, it's not from the city alone. We make sure that we are collaborating with other stakeholders. Our buyback centers are being operated by the SMMEs from the very same community where they are coming from. In our resorts, they are waste pickers that are collecting recyclable material from the resorts, but they are residing within those areas where we are implementing the program. So we always make sure that we are collaborating with the community, and we want them to take charge of their material. These are some of the pictures of the support and other infrastructure that we put in supporting the SMMEs, the waste pickers, and as well as the waste garden waste division in garden sites. The lesson learned, especially when we're dealing with informal settlement, it is shown that if you involve the community and you are putting them first to say, take accountability, you're gonna lead this project, they feel proud of their area. And we've learned that we should not come and impose activities and initiatives to them. Instead, they need to play a role in leading this project. The education and awareness, like I said, that every leader in the community, we make sure that we capacitate them to say, you are the environmental stewardship. You must not wait for someone to come and appoint you. You must always tell other people. The partnership strengthening program, REACH, we are always engaging and inviting the partners, the one that have the capacity to come and assist us where possible. Let's direct and give you a platform to engage the community. The data help refine scale initiatives. Communities every time on quarterly basis, when we engage and want to do a follow-up of, you've put a complaint, I want to do a follow-up, are you satisfied, how can I improve? We've seen that by doing that engagement, people feel important, and that's that it was not a complaint. I gave it to them, they attended and they are away. Some they even helping us in reporting the incident. They are sending it to the Metro Police, even to the department, to say, you've just cleaned, I've seen house this and that. They are coming back to the spot and doing dumping, or they've sent children. And we are making sure that we monitor through our inspectors to make sure that we monitor those spots, especially the problematic hotspot areas. So there are community that are committed, and they are they are kind of a whistleblowers in telling the inspector that I've seen this, here is the evidence, and we treat that confidentially by involving TMPD to make sure that we keep track of those monitoring of those areas. There are challenges, yes, because the participation and the expectation is not the way we are wishing. There's still some inconsistency, especially with the community. They'll just say, okay, you were here, you cleaned, and then what? You're gonna forget about us. Lack of infrastructure and resources also pose a serious challenge in the city, where we develop or implement a project or a program, but you find that people, they want to upscale it, but because we don't have infrastructure in those areas, then it seems as if we are not progressing. Illegal dumping in certain areas, there is still some problematic, especially in our townships, where we find that there are too much backyard dwellers, and those people, they still have one bin, but they resort to take out their dustbin whenever they feel like it's full. They cannot hold it up until next week. We rolled out a program where we were saying, let's engage them, come and apply for a bin, we'll give it for you for free. Some were interested, they came in all 7 regions. The participation, seeing that people were not aware that they can get additional bin, although yes, there is a resistance in those that don't want to pay for the services. That's why we say need for ongoing behavior, that we are challenged in a capacity that we need to have people on the ground that can make sure that they monitor the situation even after the city has cleaned the area. Future opportunities, we are fostering collaboration and partnership, especially from the industry stakeholders and the waste pickers, as we feel that we cannot leave them. We will make sure that they are part of the circular economy and all value chain in that we are implementing the projects in the city. The continuous adapt based on feedback. We are working on a program where we would wish that people can rate our service only on waste management, not that will receive complaints of electricity, whereas we are trying to measure the impact that we are doing when we engage on the feedback with the residents. The need for ongoing behavior enforcement, I've talked about it. I think continuous engagement and education and awareness will see a progress in making sure that people are aware, and waste management, waste management is very important. It should not be something that will come and people forget about it. And the allocation of resources, through fostering of collaboration, we are hoping that we will make sure that we improve on the infrastructure. And if there are any other investors that would like to collaborate with the city, we are busy engaging with the PROs and we are at the final stage to sign the memorandum of agreement with them so that we can upscale, and they shared their interest in providing infrastructure support within the city. Oh, sorry. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, sorry. Forgot your
Mamonari.
Mamonari. Sorry. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very insightful, and it links very much to Fundisile's first presentation, where you guys are raising the point on it's everyone has a role to play, and it's very important to get communities to be involved, so that we're able to address the problem at hand. Thank you for your presentation. Can we quickly take the next presentation? I'm not sure if Joshua is still here. He let me know that he's having connectivity issues, and his battery life wasn't that. I think he may have lost power because he was having load shedding. And I see he's not here anymore. So, are there any questions for Mamonari? Any comments? Any reflections, Grace?
Thanks very much, Chair. It was a nice presentation, but I need to also come up with inputs and also try to ask questions where deemed necessary, because this presentation, it was waste linked to climate change, right? Then when I just listened to the presentation, it was an issue of illegal dumping and other areas, but I just need to say they should also look at the hotspots and then try to strengthen their awareness campaigns. As already said, it is inconsistency. If ever they can just try to strengthen their awareness campaign, because it's very key, they can also increase or accelerate their implementation in terms of waste, more especially when we come to the landfill sites, because most of these areas around Tshwane, the landfill sites are not that much impressive, in a sense that you find that waste is lying all over, the wind blowing waste within the landfill site and stuff like that. So they should also try to also manage their waste as much as they can, and learn from the latter speaker in terms of waste to energy, because waste management and climate change are closely linked. When you check the landfill site produce methane, it means they should just try to look at the waste to energy, which is a potent greenhouse gas. Then there is a poor waste practice contribute to pollution or environmental degradation, as much as we understand that some of the areas around Pretoria, they are not that much impressive, but they should just accelerate even their implementation in terms of maybe having a more capacity in other areas, more especially at the hotspot areas. I'm just avoiding to identify those areas as a person who's coming from that side. But safe to say, try to leverage your implementation and try very hard to look at the policies that are aligned and very much key to waste and climate change. Because where you see the emission of gases, it means there should be a product out of that will also generate revenue from waste, and it will be very much sufficient to the municipality as such. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot for that, Grace. Thanks for your comments and your reflections and some suggestions for the city of Tshwane. I don't know if Mamo Nare, you want to respond. It was really, I think, inputs from Grace.
Okay, thank you, Grace, for the positive inputs. We are taking that into a consideration, and yes, we will look at the implementation plans to make sure that we accelerate and look at those hotspot areas, especially around our landfill sites. Thank you.
Thanks for that, colleagues. We'll move on to the next item.
And there's a question on the charts.
Oh, sorry.
There's a question, but I'll just ask it is Puli. I wanted to find out how's the city dealing with waste recyclers in areas where they are not welcomed as compared to areas where they are welcomed. I'm not sure if my question was heard.
Yes, yes, and thanks for that question, Pula. The issue with regarding waste pickers is very critical, and at some point, that's where we engage the industry stakeholders as well as the councillors. It's very important to engage with the councillor and the structure of the community leaders to make sure that they understand the role of the waste pickers. Yes, we still struggle with making sure and convince other people the importance of waste pickers, but there are areas that we don't have a challenge and they really welcome the waste pickers. If I can just give one example, we implemented a project in Groenkloof. It's a community gated area. It's not an estate, but through the councillor and their community, they also came with inputs on how they want to implement separation at source, and we integrate waste pickers. There were other people that didn't want waste pickers. Luckily, there were other people that wanted the waste pickers, and they came, they discussed, and when they were coming to the city, when we had our own discussion, was that this is how we will work with the waste pickers. Let's engage them and hear what they are saying. At the end of the day, the project was successfully implemented, and I'm happy it's still there. They are still working those waste pickers in that area. Thank you.
Thank you for that, colleagues. We're going to move, because we're running out of time, so we're going to move to David. David, please can go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I'm just going to set this up quickly. Could you give me an indication of how much time you'd want me to spend? I can probably adapt it based on what's needed.
You've got about 5 to 10 minutes max.
Yep. Okay, no problem. Okay, good morning, everybody, or afternoon now, I think. As I said, I think in my introduction, I'm working with National Business Initiative in the Technical Assistance, Mentorship and Development TAMDEV unit. And our role as a unit particularly is in the strengthening of the capacity of the state. That's very important. In my presentation, I'll go through more detail on that. Just to give you an idea of the areas that we cover in terms of NBI itself, we look at environmental issues and economic inclusion, employing particularly the youth in that, and also improving township economies, social transformation, gender, race, inclusion and diversity, as well as institutional and government capacity, which is really where TAMDEV sits in particular. So I just wanted to give you a very, very quick overview of TAMDEV. Effectively, you can read this for yourself, but effectively what we do, we engage private sector, our partners and our members of NBI, which we have 90. We have 90 of the largest companies in South Africa as our members, who have got obviously funds to support initiatives that they truly believe in. And one of them is government, without a doubt, and building the capacity of government. So we bring in senior professionals, mentors, technical experts using these funds to support public sector institutions. And that could be with projects or with just general mentorship and support. And in the case of waste management, the model I'll show you, it will actually bring in a very particular expert who has their own business, and that is effectively works on a franchise type basis, and that's how. And then we'd also support local government or in the implementation part as well. So it'd be a dual strategy. Okay. I'm not going to go through this at all, but this just gives you an idea of the sort of projects that we're involved in. We're involved nationally, Water Partnership Office, that's throughout the country, energy efficiency programs. All of these programs have the similar role in that we're supporting government. We're not doing, we're supporting. That is our chief role, although we can assist with setting up a project management office or something through our technical experts. And these technical experts typically have 20, 30 years experience. They're mainly retired or semi-retired. They're not necessarily a company. They're just individuals really wanting to do good and not expecting their normal payment, if you like, a normal hourly payment. They would get a much reduced payment, but they're doing it for the good of the country. And then this is more recent projects that we've engaged with. Again, Operation Bulindlela, I'm sure you're very familiar with that. That covers a lot of areas. We're working at a national level, but we also will have provincial and local and municipal level work there. In particular, this is a project that hasn't started yet, but I'm going to showcase the sort of model that we're looking to use here in Nelson Mandela Bay, where they've already shown the model to work effectively as a community-based waste recycling initiative. We've already mentioned buyback centres, but also the PROs, which I mentioned before, are also involved in this. And currently, the one we visited, which I'm not going to present on, but the one we visited last month, has a current throughput of 60 tonnes per month, and they're looking to increase to 100 tonnes by the end of the year. This is about 5 local women working together. That just gives you an idea of what's possible with PRO support for machinery and that sort of thing. But they've now earned enough money to buy themselves a bakkie, for example. That's over 3 years of mentorship, and that's what we would provide. So then just look at this. This is old stories, but this is what you know already. You know, it's a health initiative. This is to improve health by waste management, and through that, through a sustainable waste management system that involves people earning money, having a living, and a decent living, not just getting by, etc. It really is giving people a good living. And obviously, from a government side, to reduce the waste diversion rate. Okay, increase, increase. But I'm looking the other way around. Yeah, increase the percentage waste diversion rate. Okay, I'm 5 minutes in, so I'm going to quickly go. Okay, so these are the key principles we'd work to. This is really, again, fairly normal circular economy, waste management hierarchy, really prioritizing the recycling and reuse, etc., which I think also needs to be brought in. It's not just about throwing things away; it's about reusing them. And then separation at source, which was mentioned again, very focused on awareness creation. All these issues are focused on awareness creation. That is the bottom line, and really the main focus of any initiative such as this. And then to make sure you're being inclusive in the with shared ownership. This is a business we're creating, not something that's government funded. Let me say that, long term, maybe initially, but not long term. And then this is the approach that our model would take, very much involved with the community. There'll be an inclusive steering committee working with the local municipality in prioritization, looking at feasibility studies, what's really needed, not imposing a solution, just finding out what's needed and how the model and parts of the model can be used. Awareness creation, I've already mentioned. We work closely with with DCOG through the CWP program in particular. And the idea there is not to just create short-term jobs, it's to create long-term employment in the sector, funded not just by government, by the private sector or by the businesses that we were creating. So it's SME development. And then obviously training and capacity building is very critical. SME development, I've already mentioned. And the very important one, I'm not sure if it was mentioned, the mobile buyback centres, where you're going to the community and engaging the community, including awareness creation at these mobile buyback centres, so people can come with their waste, including e-waste. I think that's also an important one to bring in, and that's a lot of work going on. And NBI is quite involved in that as well. How do we make that something that's profitable? And then there's the importance of the PPE equipment. Typically, we would ask for assistance with that from private sector or local government. And then probably the underlying thing in this whole process is you would have people coming, individuals, businesses, waste pickers coming with their already sorted waste. So it's the 5 or 6 different types of plastics, each properly sorted, and that's part of the training. And they will get an e-voucher on their phone, whether it's a smartphone or not, and they can then use that for cash or to buy things in certain shops in the area where deals are made with those shops. There's no cash involved. That's the idea. And obviously there's a monitoring system as well. Okay, I'm going to move quickly on. I'm not going to cover the key risks. I think we all know about those. I'll move quickly onto this, which is a brief video of what can be done. This is Duncan Village, but this All Hands on Waste is the model that we have adopted. It's also been adopted in Nelson Mandela Bay, in East London. I forgot the new name for East London. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me for that. And then also Johannesburg, the presidential Johannesburg working group have adopted this model. So it's out there, and so that's why we want to use it. I'm hoping this is going to work. Let me give it a go. Let me know if it's not working. You should be able to hear the sound and everything.
The Duncan Village Buyback Centre and Integrated Waste Management Services Project's vision was to ensure a tangible change in attitude towards waste management, a cleaner area for the residents to live in, and community upliftment. The project's specific objectives were to provide waste management services through waste collection, separation, and transfer to processing plants for further beneficiation, to establish and support SMME development, to provide skills development and training, including education and awareness, and job creation in particular for women and youth. Extensive marketing, including radio, newspapers, billboards, and other branding opportunities were utilized to inform and educate the Duncan Village community and broader BCMM region on responsible waste management and the benefit of recycling. Residents are provided with a clear bag for recyclables and a black bag for municipal waste. The project's participants collect the clear bags, which are sorted at the container and weighed, and the value thereof paid in an e-voucher, which they can redeem at participating stores.
Through the All Hands on Waste program, all schools within BCMM are encouraged to participate in the school's recycling program, in which they benefit through the recycling education and branded items given at the schools and the e-vouchers paid out. They are also eligible to win prizes at the annual prize giving. Duncan Village residents, waste reclaimers, and the wider community are encouraged to take sorted recyclables to the buyback center and either benefit from the e-voucher for themselves or allocate the value to a charity. This means that both our environment and less fortunate benefit from the community's commitment to recycling. The sorted recyclables are aggregated, such as baling of waste and crushing glass for on-selling. Since inception in November 2021, the impact of the project has been very positive. We thank all sponsors and partners for their contribution to the success of this project.
Thank you, David, for your presentation. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody saw that that whole video and the speaking on the video was an initiative with the local schools. And as I said, this is a franchise type business, so all the pricing is set centrally, if you like. It's not that big at the moment, but based on the actual costs or the actual value of the waste. So that was also monitored and everything. And as I say, there's plenty of people now making quite a bit of money out of this locally. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. Perhaps you could share the link of the video because it didn't move, but we heard the most important part of the video, and I think colleagues have learned from that the initiative that you guys are having in Duncan Village. Are there any questions for David?
You say that nobody saw the video.
On my side, I didn't see it. It didn't move. But I could hear clearly the lady speaking.
Sorry about that. I tested it beforehand. It is a link. Yeah, I can share the link. It's a link I'll share.
Perhaps if you put it in the chat box, and then we'll share it when we share all the presentations. Yeah. No, thanks a lot. Great initiative. And I think whichever municipality is interested in the e-vouchers, the concept of that cashless buyback, I think it's a really great initiative. Maybe then they could contact you if they need, a bit more clarity on how to go about with that initiative. Colleagues, it's 2:00 here on my watch. 2:02. So I'm quickly going to hand over to my colleague Bala. You've got literally 2 to 3 minutes to talk about Salga's work, and then Tabi Singh is going to wrap up for us. Bala? Oh, sorry. Are there any questions? I didn't see any hands. Oh, Grace.
Thanks very much. It's not a question per se. I was just checking these presentations, the insightful of the 3 presentations that presented by presenters, and I just want to make a small comment, like they should just try to look at the separation at source at the households. We have the 2-bag system that they should just try to implement all of them, because I never heard anything about the 2-bag system from the first presenter to the last until to the last one. At least the Duncan Village NBI talked about it a little bit, but if ever they can just introduce the 2-bag system, it will just mitigate a lot of waste going to the landfill sites, and can be used for composting and stuff like that. And then it is just like that, yeah. But if ever there is somebody who wants to understand more, you can share them with my details so that we can just have engage with them so that they can understand what is it about the 2-bag system if ever they are not knowledgeable of the 2-bag system. Thanks.
Great. Thanks a lot, Grace, for that. So, colleagues, you've heard. If you need more information on the two-bag system, we'll leave Grace's contact details so that you can contact her. Over to you, Bala, so that you quickly take us through Salga's work, and then Tabi Singh, you'll take over. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Chair. I'm not going to take time on this one, but just to indicate that amongst the key issue, we have developed a strategy which guides our approach to the support of municipalities in the area of waste management, and it covers the issues around infrastructure, where we look into the use of the existing grants like your MIG, where we take municipalities through the process of applying, and where there is no capacity, then we do the application together. Especially for specialized vehicles, there is a work that we do around the the extended producer responsibility, which is more linked to what Grace was saying, in upscaling recycling and municipalities creating enabling environment for the producers to come to the space, which is more on then coordinating those activities of producers. We do also prioritize the innovation and technologies. We've got an application that we have developed, which one of the colleagues made mention in the presentation, which is the Waste app, which is more of improving communication between municipalities and its citizens on issues of waste management. We also look into authority function because we believe that that's one area that requires intervention, and it is more of cushioning municipalities in terms of their authority function, executive authority over the function, which is more on development of bylaws and integrated waste management plans. So amongst the top, those are the key focus areas that we provide the support to municipalities. And one and lastly, these kind of sessions where we create platform for municipalities to talk to each other and also talk to other experts that can assist in providing solutions to the challenges that they're facing. So in summary, for the sake of time, those are the highlights of the work that we're doing in the area of waste management. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bala, for that. And thank you for that nice summary of the work that's taking place. For anyone who's interested in assistance, either for applying for MIG, you're welcome to contact Bala. We'll also share his contact. Tabiseng?
Thank you, Dora. And colleagues, I won't take much of the time. I think we have come to the end of our session today, and maybe one thing we can collectively agree on is that from this session, the most reinforced issue is that it's very important to consider waste management not just as a service delivery issue, but a behavioral issue and ultimately a resilient issue. From the three speakers, colleagues, you would have heard that all those initiatives, they emphasize more on awareness. They emphasize more on treating a waste management issue as a collective problem and making sure that we work with our communities and give them those platforms to lead, to co-create solutions with us, to even lead these initiatives so that we emphasize the issue of behavioral change. And with that said, colleagues, I would like to thank everyone who presented, facilitated, participated in one way or the other, and also the lessons that we drew from all the speakers. I would like to say, colleagues, thank you so much. And with that said, I would like to bring this session to an end. Have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.